Why did you buy AMC stock to begin with? What made you jump into this play? What was the rationale behind you taking your money, putting into your brokerage account and clicking buy? And for some of you, or many of us, adding more anytime you had a chance to. What was your why? What was your goal? What was the reason why you get in? Because if you look at society a little bit closer, you will notice that a lot of people are not being intentional. And the definition of intentionality is to really be conscious and in making a conscious decision into doing an action that you believe or you expect or you hope to have significant change and impact in your life. Maybe in the next 2 months, maybe the next 3 months, maybe the next 5 years, or maybe for the rest of your life. And sometimes also for people outside of you, like your kids, your wife, your grandkids, your generation, etc., etc. I'm gonna want to talk to about this because when you look at the price action of AMC for the last 4-6 weeks, we've been making lower lows and lower highs. It means we are on a downtrend, and we know this is a tactic for ages. We all know that this is not new information, and for some of us, it doesn't really budge. It doesn't really fade. It doesn't really do anything to us because we are kind of strong mentally. But for some of us, it's not the case. And for those who are kind of doubting or hesitating or questioning or concerned about what is actually happening, sometimes it is good to go back to your goal. It's good to go back to your why. It's good to go back to, okay, why in the heck did I get in here for the first place? Because a lot of people, especially in the stock market, will buy a stock because, oh, it's already 20% up since the last 3 days. It's already up 50% since the last 2 months. Do I need to get in? Or because I saw it being the number one, word being searched on Google, or everybody on YouTube, everybody on social media, on Reddit, it's talking about this like the next thing that will make me a millionaire overnight, the next thing that will make me buy a Lambo or be financially free because I'm gonna make as much money as I never possibly imagined I would have made in a matter of 3 months. But here we are 6 months, 7 months into this thing, and still we are in the low 30s. Does that mean that anything has changed? That's what you need to answer based on where your goal is. Because if your goal was to kind of mimic what somebody was doing, then it's going to be a lot more easier for you to let go. It's going to be easier for you to be down on these days where consequently since Friday we are down 5% every single trading session. It's going to be way more easier for you to dump your shares, okay? And that's why I think it's really important to look at your goal, because if your goal was to really, you make your research, okay? Even if at the beginning you didn't have a lot of, reasons or catalysts or rationals behind this and the full potential, and kind of along the way you realized it and say, hey, maybe this 100%, or this 100,000 share is not that crazy. Maybe this real price we've been hearing about, 8,000, 5,000, 10,000 a share is not that, impossible, because the extent of what is at play here, it's kind of out of this world, okay? And that may be also your goal, okay? But the thing is, bottom line is, when you know your goal, it's much more easier, to last longer. It's much more easier to refuel yourself, okay? To motivate yourself into looking at days like this where you see red consecutively, and you tell yourself, I don't know, man, I don't know what to do. Maybe I made a mistake. But when you look at your goal, there you go. It can give you that ability to sustain the road. Because the thing is, nothing has really changed since day one. They haven't covered. And until they do, personally, I'm going to stay here. But that's just me.